Welcome to another author vlog update. Um, this one is one that makes me very happy to actually do because I have finished my developmental edits of The Hunter and the Cultist. Finally! Yay! Oh my god. I honestly did not think I would get to this point when I was about November and I was seriously behind. But I managed to finish it with one day to spare in December. So I finished it yesterday and it was actually very relaxed. I was able to actually take my time with the last three chapters and it turned out really good. Now, something that surprised me, the original draft, when I first plotted this out, and I wrote out the first draft. Technically, it's like the second draft, but this was the first like full main series draft. It ended at 78,000, a little over 78,000 words. And I already knew that there were going to be a lot of scenes that I would have to add after that, and it was going to grow. I had no idea that it was going to grow into 100,078 words. My god. I have maybe done that with one or two stories, but those were co-written, so that makes sense why that one got so big. But personally, I have never done a manuscript that was over 100,000 words. Now, I know that that's probably going to change once I throw it into Grammarly. And then once I start doing my actual full line edits, I know that number is going to change. But I'm really hoping that it doesn't change as much as I'm expecting it to. And it doesn't, like, drop it down really far. Because about 90 to 100,000 is kind of where I feel comfortable with it. But I am really, really looking forward to this story being done and dusted and getting it ready for ARC reviewers. I'm actually going to be taking a different approach with this particular one because it's in a genre that I've actually been building up a little bit of a community in on Facebook. So I am really, really hoping that I can get some good traction for it. So here's hoping on that one. As of the end of December, I am putting aside my Equinox story, Sabotage, which is the title that I kind of call it. And I'm now switching gears over to my superhero story, Wind and Steel. And I already know kind of what I have to do for it. I have to do basically what I did with Sabotage, which was to do I call it a plot point note card system, where I take every plot point that I want to happen throughout the story, and I basically write out every note card in sequential order of how I want the story to play out. And basically this gives me a map of where to follow. Because I have already done a beat sheet for both characters because it's dual point of view. And I have a beat sheet tree, which basically lists out all the beats right next to each other. And I tried to figure out a good kind of mesh with it, but it wasn't giving me that visual that I needed of how to actually create the story. So now, this way, I can actually build the story sort of a skeletal, or I get the way I've kind of thought of it is like a road trip. You look at how the map is going to go, and it's like, oh, here are spots that I want to stop at, such as landmarks or gas stations or fast food places. And I'm going to stop at all these locations. What happens in between them is kind of up for interpretation. So that's kind of how I'm using the note card system. So far I've done that with Sabotage, and I really like how it came out, and it feels very natural. It actually allowed me to figure out the story beforehand and how it actually would flow. So here's hoping that the same kind of magic that worked with Sabotage will also work for Wind and Steel. So here's hoping. But I have decided that for any projects that are classified as like the side projects, such as Sabotage and Wind and Steel, the first draft that I'm actually doing right now is more of like a zero draft, where I'm just putting words down on paper. I don't have a lot of the characterizations for side characters or for world building that I would have during an actual first draft. So it's sort of me kind of like feeling out where the story is going. So then when I actually switch them over to main series, then I can actually go in and make sure that I'm getting everything down that I need to get down. And I hope to have a couple of these drafts down before I switch from the Hunter X Slayer series into either Equinox or the superhero series. So we'll find out what happens with that one. But for the most part, I'm feeling really good about where I am at the end of this year, because this year has been just fustercluck. Absolute fustercluck. But I will be doing a resolutions video. I'll also be doing a bunch of reviews, so you're going to see me kind of in the same outfit. You know how my channel is. I batch film a lot of things. But if you have some videos that you would like me to try doing, I'd be happy to listen to them. I will say that I won't be doing a like best and worst books that I've read this year, because I actually had a pretty shitty reading year, and I actually had filmed them, but I didn't like how they came out because, one, I don't remember a lot of what I read. A lot of it was read during the early parts of the year when I was actually like doing okay, but now it's just like, no, I'm good. But I do have a couple videos I can still do, and we'll see how it comes out. So I will see you all in the next video, and I will be leaving links down in the description box if you would like to pick up copies of my Reaper series. I will be actively working on the manuscripts for those to get audiobooks done. So keep an eye out for that. I might be talking more about my process with that during these updates, but we'll see how it goes. All right? See you all later. Bye-bye. Happy New Year.